All right, welcome everyone to today's discussion about CDAP and other grants to help grow your business digitally. I am your host today, Munir Nawab, and I'll be telling you a little bit more about myself in a moment. But I just want to thank everyone for taking time out to learn about how to grow your business and what are some of the different grant and loan opportunities that are available and how you can use those to grow your business, especially in the digital age. I have a lot to say and to share with you on this topic. It's something that I've done myself over the years. Through my business, I've raised well over $1 million just from grants, and another $1 million or so from different sorts of loans, low interest loans, especially from government sources. So happy to share with you what we've learned over time. And now I've had the privilege of getting associated with the CDAP program, Canada Digital Adoption Program. We have on our team a few approved advisors for the program. So we're helping businesses to qualify for the program and get them set up. Now, for this particular program, your business needs to be doing over $500,000 in revenue, and you need to have at least one person on payroll other than yourself. There's a few other stipulations as well. So if you're in a business that doesn't quite qualify for that, there's a few other reasons why you might want to stay tuned in. So first of all, we are going to be talking about some other grant opportunities, and part of our network and part of our community is that we help to connect businesses of all kinds with grant writers and loan writers that can help them grow their business. Obviously, grants and loans are the fuel for your business. And the second reason to stay tuned is that we have a referral program as well. So you can get involved and to refer other businesses that are past that mark, that have more than $500,000 in revenue. We have a referral program so that you can get them involved and also earn a commission as a result of that as well. So I'd love to tell you a little bit more about that program of ours. So first, a little bit about myself. My name, again, is Munir Nawab. And my primary claim to fame recently is that I'm the founder of a digital agency by the name of Crowdlinker. I'm going to tell you more about that company and some of the work that we do. And we're involved mostly in software development, but also a lot of digital marketing as well. So I'll share with you some of the work that we've done. And then I'm going to tell you a little bit more about the program. Aside from founding Crowdlinker almost 10 years ago, I work as a digital consultant. So I help a lot of businesses with setting up their digital adoption plans and creating applications, creating digital marketing plans. So that's something that me and my team are heavily involved with. I have a background in computer science as well as business, and have been in the technology development field for well over 10 years, previously with Procter & Gamble, as well as Nortel Networks back in the day. So I've been programming and have a background in product management as well. And I bring all of that to you in the work that we do. And more recently, been very heavily involved in digital marketing. So that's been my main focus area in the past 5 years, is on digital marketing, everything related to paid ads and search engine optimization and funnels, conversion rate optimization, and different sorts of growth hacking techniques, everything from email outreach and LinkedIn outreach and all these sorts of things. So that's something that I'm really passionate about. And now we're really using a lot of artificial intelligence to drive that forward. So let me share with you a little bit more about my companies that I work with, and I just want to give you kind of a caliber of the type of work that we've been doing and what you can expect if you engage with me and my team. So first of all, let's talk about Crowdlinker. So Crowdlinker is a digital agency, right? And this is a company that I founded over 10 years ago. Now, all of the work that I do, sometimes I might put it through CrowdLinker or through one of our other entities. So everything that I say isn't always representing CrowdLinker. You have to keep that in mind. We have over 30 staff and we have different partners in the company. But I do want to give you a bit of an overview because it is quite impressive what we do and the results that we've been able to produce. So CrowdLinker is primarily involved with software development. So that includes like big marketing websites and applications, mobile applications of different kinds, Android, iPhone, blockchain applications, getting into artificial intelligence these days. The company has worked with some well-known firms you probably heard of, like FreshBooks and Shopify, NBC Universal, Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment, as well as a lot of growing startups, such as some of those listed here on the screen. And as I was saying, we have about 30 staff across the country, people doing things like software development and UI UX, product management, and things like that. We also are heavily involved in digital marketing. So we have the capabilities, and I've done a lot of work in the areas of paid traffic, Google, Facebook, organic marketing, social media marketing, search engine optimization, and things of that sort. So amongst our firm and our team, we bring a lot of breadth of experience. So there's not a lot of firms that have that breadth of experience that we do in the digital realm. And so that's something that we bring to you through what we offer. So I want to talk a bit about the program now. So CDAP, let's talk about CDAP. So I put together this landing page, which we refer a lot of companies to. So I'll share that with you. And we'll put the link in here for your reference. You can take a look at this. We'll put the link in the chat for everyone. So this program was released by the federal government in Canada almost a year ago. And basically, there's a few different components to it. We'll just watch a short video from the government first. Okay, so that's just from the government website. Now they're talking about the $15,000 grant. So the $15,000 grant, which comes with it, this doesn't need to be paid back, but this is meant to be used to hire a digital advisor, such as those that we have on our team. And they're going to create for you a digital adoption plan. This is like a 20-page document, which will go into different areas of the business, talk about your strengths and your weaknesses, and identify what are the opportunities for you to use digital technology to grow your business. What sorts of digital technology? Well, it's pretty broad, and I'll talk about that more in a moment in terms of the different sorts of digital initiatives that you can undertake in. But it's probably a lot of the things that you might expect: digital marketing, collaboration software within the company, CRM systems, ERP systems, and things like that. So once we create this digital adoption plan for you, you use that to submit it back to the government, and then you get invited to apply for this interest-free loan. So this interest-free loan is $50,000 to $100,000, and you have 6 years to pay it back. So this is quite lucrative. The intention of it is to fund the actual digital initiatives that you have, digital marketing, or some sort of app development, or whatever it is that you need for your business, website, these sorts of things. And you can spread that money out over time. It doesn't all have to be spent at once. So there's quite a bit of flexibility on how you actually can use that money. There's another really great thing about the program here that we often overlook is this wage subsidy. So there's a wage subsidy that's offered. So once you've completed the digital adoption plan with us, you get qualified to hire youth. So these are people who are in school or recently graduated, and you can hire them, and the government will give you a $7,300 credit towards their salary over a course of 4 months. And so you can use that to subsidize their salary. And that works out to about covering them at minimum wage, and anything else that you want to pay on top of that is up to you. But this is a great bonus as well. And then you can hire multiple students or recent graduates in this manner. So this is a great bonus that comes along with it. Now, let's talk about the application process and how this overall process works. So first thing you would do is you can reach out to me or someone on my team, or reach out through the landing page that we'll be sharing, and book a time to talk. If you think that your business qualifies, or if you know a business that qualifies, put them in touch with us, and we'll talk with them and walk them through it and better understand to see if this will be a good fit for them. And if so, we'll then help them to apply on the government website. So there's a government website here. You can look it up even. Boost Your Business Technology Grant for CDAP. And you'll come to this page. We can share the link as well and the list of links along with the presentation today. And you basically come on here and click Apply Now. It's going to walk you through a process where it's going to ask you to create an account and whatnot. But basically, what that's going to do is it's going to confirm your eligibility. It's going to confirm your eligibility online. So you'll know within a few minutes, you'll confirm that your business is eligible. Once you have that eligibility, it's pretty much guaranteed that you'll be getting the funds and the subsequent loan. Definitely the funds. As long as we submit a compliant plan for you, you should expect to get those funds. So this is a very high probability approval rate compared to other grants and whatnot that are out there, or loans. We have not had anyone not get approved. So everyone who confirmed their eligibility, everyone has been approved. And we're talking about a few dozen companies in our network so far. So sometimes there might be something we have to change or change on the plan or fix something, but after those fixes, everyone has gotten approved. As well, everyone has been invited to apply for the loan as well. So that's the other thing. We haven't had anyone not be invited to apply for the loan. There are some other stipulations with the loan, obviously your credit worthiness and whatnot. I mean, if you have a super horrible credit score and like really, really bad, perhaps that might be a problem, but we haven't had anyone not be invited for the interest-free loan. And even if you've been denied other business loans recently, there's a good chance that you would get approved for this one because it is backed by the federal government. So this is a kind of a separate program, a separate initiative. So we've seen businesses that have tapped out their funding otherwise, but then have still been able to get this funding. Unfortunately, there's no guarantees. We can't guarantee that really it's up to their credit adjudication process, but we haven't had anyone not get approved for that loan. So again, coming back to what we were saying, you go into the government website, you confirm your eligibility, and then you can work with us. We'll set you up with a digital advisor who will create this digital adoption plan for you. We'll sign a contract with you. We won't take any money up front. We may ask for a credit card as a hold. That's just as a security, because the way it works is that once you get the funding from the government, it's going to be deposited into your account, and then you would pay us from that, and we would compensate the advisor. So just to make sure that that whole process flows smoothly, we ask for a credit card just as a hold. The overall process takes about 2 weeks, so it's pretty quick. And once we have your plan ready. We'll work with you to submit it on the government portal. It just takes a few minutes. And then it takes them about a week or so to review it and release the funds to you. Once you have that approval, then you'll get a further invitation to apply for the interest-free loan. So that will take another few weeks, a couple of weeks. So the overall process, I mean, for end to end, if you're able to get started, say if you got started this week, it's about 1 month end to end to get all of it. Next, let me talk about the eligibility requirements. So what would make you eligible for this loan? So obviously you need to be a Canadian company, right? Or you can be, so it can be a corporation or it can be a sole proprietorship. It has to be a for-profit entity. Okay, so that's important. And you need to have at least one person on payroll. Okay, other than the owner. So if you don't have someone on payroll, you can add someone on payroll, right, and let that process. So we've seen some companies do that, but you do need to have somebody on payroll. And then very importantly, you need to have over $500,000 in revenue in one of the last 3 years, tax years. So, and that has to be filed with the CRA. So you actually have to have filed that tax return. So if you haven't filed it yet, you have to wait until you file it and then apply and wait for it to go into their system and whatnot. If you meet those criteria, then you should go onto the government website and check your eligibility. Right, this is a limited time program. Once the funds are depleted, that's it. So I encourage you to proceed as quickly as you can and check your eligibility, and as well invite your friends and your colleagues to do the same. How can you use the money? So what are the different use cases? So it is for digital, right? Anything digital related. So it's very broad. I mean, basically anything you could think of that you would use a computer with potentially might be covered within the grant and the loan. But it's a lot of digital marketing related stuff often. So that's stuff related to your website, your social media, pay-per-click marketing, search engine optimization, email marketing, CRM systems. And then as well, lots of things related to productivity. So that could be workplace collaboration software, chat systems within the company, ERP systems, a custom app that you might be building. So these are some of the use cases that might be covered. As well, companies that are already technology focused, so software companies, they can find use cases within their existing software, their existing tool set that would be covered as well. So we know how to position the grant and the loan in order to use this funding to work on your actual software solution. I just had a potential client reach out to us, and they're a traditional brick and mortar business, but they're creating a new app, right? They're launching an app for the first time to replace some of their existing software that they're using and to create new capabilities. So they want to use this program to help create a digital adoption plan for that and unlock the funding to actually finance that app. And the $50,000 to $100,000 that they'll get will be just what they need to do that software development. So it's a perfect fit for them. And as well, they'll have the opportunity then to license that software out to other businesses like theirs. So that will create an extra income stream for them. So a whole bunch of different use cases out there. That is a little bit about the program. And so if you're interested here, I'm going to include some links to this page in the chat, and you can then book some time with me or someone on my team, and we can see if this is a good fit for you or somebody that you know. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead now and include that link in the chat window here. So I'm sharing my screen. You can see it up on the screen here. So just go to this web address and you'll be able to get more information. And as well, book some time with me and my team. All right, I'm going to stop sharing now. We'll open it up to questions in a moment. But I want to just talk a little bit more about grants and the intention of this community and the calls that we're doing, right? So, like I said, I've had the pleasure to raise over $1 million in funding from government sources over the past 10 years. A lot of that was towards the beginning of our journey with the company. And so we raised a few different grants early on, a $30,000 grant through the Centers of Excellence. So there's a lot of these sort of grants. There are some more grants like that available. Nazar is aware of them, of some of the grants that are available. So these sort of $30,000 micro grants are often available for smaller companies. And but there's also a lot of other grants that are available. We'll talk more about some of the different grants. The other big grant that we got was through the Canada Media Fund. So we raised almost $1 million just through the Canada Media Fund. And so that was really instrumental in growing the company and really getting us started. The process, though, was not always straightforward. Some of these grant opportunities, I mean, there isn't a 100% approval rate, that's for sure. So, but if you know the tips and you know the tricks for each one, and if you have perhaps an experienced grant writer in your corner, you have a much higher probability of getting approved. So I want to talk about two things here. So one, the opportunity to use grants as a way of fueling your business growth, right? And so it is something that's possible. It's something that you can do, and it's something that me and my team have had a lot of experience doing. So don't overlook some of these grant opportunities, especially when you're first sort of scaling your business, the first $1 million in revenue. This is a great opportunity to augment your revenue with this non-dilutive funding. And the second point that I want to make is about how to use these grants for digital initiatives, either software development and or digital marketing. Now, this is what the CDAP grant is all about. It's about taking funding, both a grant and an interest-free loan, and then using it to fund the digital initiatives for your company. But there's more to it than that. There are a lot of grants and other loan opportunities that are available only if you start to position your company digitally. So, for example, one is IRAP. So some of you might be familiar with that. So that is an innovation program, and the government will give you funding anywhere between $50,000 to $1 million per year to work on a project to increase your digital capabilities within the company and your innovation. And so the funding is out there. You just need to come up with a use case, and the government will give you the money to do it. So the question is, why wouldn't you do that? There's also SHRED, so there's scientific research and development tax credits. So the government will basically cover over 50% of the costs related to you creating innovation within your company. So that's a lot of software development, making your own app, creating technical capabilities that might support your digital marketing. So all these sorts of things can be covered. If you start to look at these opportunities as an investment in your innovation and your digital strategy rather than just an expense, and you look at them as though you're making an investment in your digital future. What I want to encourage you to do, everyone here on this call, regardless of what kind of business you're in, is start to look at yourself as a technology company first. And even if you might be in the technology field. So for example, you could be, there's some people maybe in listening to this call who are technology service providers or consultants. But you might start to think about, so you're in the technology field, but really you're not a technology first company, because you're still delivering your service in a rather old-fashioned way. But you can start to think about, how is it that you can create an enabled service around your offering, and how can you use digital marketing to grow your business? So let's look at a use case of a company that we worked with in the past. So one specialty area of mine is insurance. So we've had many clients in the insurance space, both traditional companies as well as technology-focused companies that are in this space, and many of which in some form or another are trying to increase their digital presence. So let's take an example. I won't mention any names, but we've worked with many companies in the space. But let's take, for example, selling business insurance, for example. So that might be considered a very traditional business, right? You have brokers, you pick up, people call you on the phone, you present a policy to them, and then you write the policy. So this is a very traditional business. It does not require any kind of technology or digital marketing to make this work. Now, what most companies do when they approach their digital marketing, for example, is they say, okay, well, how can I get leads? How can I find customers? And so they then go and do some marketing and do some Facebook advertising. Maybe they do some search engine optimization and whatnot, social media marketing, and they get leads that way. But they're still a very traditional business. Now, we have some clients, though, that say, no, I'm going to reinvent how my product is bought and sold in the digital age. And I'm going to become a digital-first provider for my service. So coming back to the example of insurance, we've worked with many companies that have aspired to market and sell and fulfill their product online. And we've worked with companies at different stages of the industry. So for example, like we've worked with carriers who obviously are able to fulfill on that promise in a more robust way, but we've also worked with independent agencies who have been able to create an online brand, which is like, insurance.com sort of brand, in addition to or instead of a traditional brick and mortar brand, but positioning themselves as the online source for buying and selling this product. And then engage in a lot of the same sort of activities that you traditionally would do. So digital marketing, search engine optimization, paid advertisement. But now when the leads are coming in, it's not just a question of we're just getting a lead. Now we are a technology company in general. So now the business has positioned themselves that we are a technology first company. And this opens up so many opportunities for grants and for loans and for basically just looking at the business as a technology first company by itself opens up a lot more. It creates also a scalable, defensible business as well. This creates something unique in the marketplace. A lot of companies aren't doing this. So I want to encourage you to look at that as a potential opportunity. How can you digitize your business end to end? How can you make your business a technology first company? And so I think every one of us on this call can perhaps look at how can we be doing that. So unless you're already like a software as a service company, maybe you're already at that extreme. But unless you're already like a software as a service company or perhaps like a marketplace, you probably have a lot of room where you can take yourself in the digital life cycle. So that's just something I want to share with you from my experience. We're going to open it up to questions in a moment. And also, I want to give Nazar a chance to talk about some of the other grant opportunities that are available as well. Nazar, are you ready to join us in the conversation?
Yes, Munir.
Okay, so so Nazar and we partnered up, and we have some other grant writers in our network as well. But we're basically helping businesses of all kinds to get different loans and different grants for their business. So, Nazar, do you want to talk about some of the grants and the loans that you're helping businesses with these days? Yeah, you're muted, by the way. You're muted. We can't hear you.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, I'll go ahead.
Okay.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
So first, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Nazar. I'm the founder of Agiro Business Consulting. Is it okay if I share my screen to show my website?
Sure.
Okay, thank you. So we started back in 2019, and we've been helping lots of small business owners and entrepreneurs and startups. So we help them find grants, loans. There's also special programs if you're youth, women, minorities, etc. We have everything laid out pretty straightforward. So the steps are very easy to work with us. It's only 6 steps. We have an eligibility form on our website. So all you have to do is fill out this 1-minute form, and once you filled it out, we get the form and we book a meeting and see how we can help you apply for the right types of funding for your business. And this is our team. Myself, I'm the founder. Catherine is the grant writer. Myra is the project executive, and we work with other marketing consultants to help take the business to the next level once the funds have been approved. That being said, I'd like now to talk about a specific grant that has a very tight deadline right now. I think it closes by sometime by mid-April, called the Idea Fund, where you get up to $30,000 worth of grants. If you have a business, a sustainable business. So what they do is you write down a business canvas, and it gets reviewed. And once we help you, of course, tweak it, you become like one of many applicants who get selected for that grant. And the beauty about this grant is how you can utilize it, mostly in digital marketing, like Munir was saying. So they are very flexible on how you spend that money if it's towards digital marketing. But if you want to pay some administrative fees or legal fees, it has its limitations. They tell you, for example, well, if you have legal fees, the maximum you can utilize out of the 30,000 is only 5,000, for example. But the main goal, as Munir was saying, that this is to help businesses become more sustainable by investing in the digital world, so that things can run smoother and more efficiently, and enhance your online presence, of course. So that specific grant, it has intro sessions. It's scheduled already. So if you want to learn more, you can book an intro session on the website with Tech Alliance. And once you've determined that you're eligible, then we can work together on your business canvas and make sure you apply before the deadline. Because remember, the deadline is less than a week. We have, less than a week. So the sooner you can look into this Idea Fund grant, the sooner you can be prepared to apply for it and hopefully get that $30,000 grant. And with that being said, there's also other options for people who need bigger amounts of money. So the best one right now is the BDC loan, which is the online loan where you can apply up to 100K. And that's something we have a lot of success stories with, since we have a dedicated account manager. So the process, gets completed within a few weeks. There's constant communication. If there's any issue with documents submitted, something that was missing, it gets fixed right away. And We make sure that your approval rate is, anywhere from 80 to 100%. With that being said, I would like to leave some room for anyone who has any questions. So please go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. Alexander, you have a question?
Yeah, my situation, I happen to be like really at the startup level, and I want to develop an application. It's being designed for the front end, and the back end is being designed like sort of like what the database needs to look like, but it's very preliminary. And that's why I really came here to check out if there was any sort of grants for very startup uh, phase for a company like in the digital space now.
And when did you start your business?
About about a month and a half ago.
Okay, so you're pretty fresh, basically.
Definitely. I have, funny enough, I do have a client base.
Mhm.
That's why like I'm working really hard to find like sort of the developers to develop the product because it seems like it is something that people will pay for.
Yep.
But that's why I'm looking for the grant.
With that being said, that's actually something you and I can book a meeting around because I'm currently doing the same exact thing you're doing. I'm also developing an app and I'm working with, I just like recently connected with an app developer who's the right fit. And we're currently in the phase where we're connecting with angel investors because like you, like the business hasn't started yet. We don't have any paying clients. So we're in constant contact with angel investors and private sources of funding. So definitely, you're welcome to book a call with us. So let me just send you my link in the chat.
That would be perfect. I would love to hear about it.
Okay. Yeah, I'll chime in as well on that. So in terms of when you're first starting out, some of these micro grants might be a fit. So I'm wondering, so Nazar, for the idea fund that you said, the $30,000 grant, what's the eligibility criteria for that one?
So the eligibility criteria, as long as it has a proof of sustainability, that's the main thing that they're looking for. And that's actually an advantage over a BDC loan because BDC loans, for example, you need 2 fiscal years and a very good credit score, where the idea fund could be actually the starting point that you need. So that might be the fuel that would boost your idea. So that way you get some validation, and it will actually work in your favor. If you get approved for that idea grant, because then you can pitch to angel investors. You've already got a grant, and now you need more money, of course, because everybody knows 30,000, is not sufficient to do a full app.
Yeah, it is something that can build on
Yes.
itself.
And also one more thing, if you are under the age of 40, you would be eligible to up to 60K loan with Futurepreneur, and that's something else we can also discuss.
Yeah, so in the early days for us, so I'll tell you what were the first sources of funding that we got. So first one was we got a $30,000 line of credit from RBC. So that was very early. Now, I think nowadays I don't believe that they're necessarily giving out that much. I did start another legal entity like a few years back, and I got $10,000. So that's probably more reasonable, but it is possible. Like you can get some money from banks. So
Yes,
nowadays, like get a line of credit under the name of the business for 10,000 maybe, but sometimes more. Like in our case, we got 30,000 and also included a credit card. So that's a source of funding. And then we did some of the micro grants similar to the Idea Fund. And then we also did the Canada Media Fund, which was huge. And then we applied for the IRAP grant, so we got $50,000. So one of the reasons why one of the reasons why we got the IRAP funding is that we had other funding. Like we didn't have revenue, but because we had other funding, they took us more seriously in getting that 50,000. But the IRAP is a great source of funding. The approval rate isn't, it's definitely not. There's definitely an adjudication process, but that is a good one for you to go after. So we can put you in touch with anyone if you're interested in going after any of these funding sources I mentioned so far. The other good one is Shred. So Shred is only good, like you have to be spending money because you're going to get back like 50-60% of your spend. So you have to be spending that money on people, on Canadian resources towards your digital innovations, so you can get back some of that money. But a lot of businesses kind of look at it as a source of funding. They kind of work it into the overall plan. And then the other really good one that we should mention that is quite popular is the export can grants. So this is like $50,000 to $75,000 grants if you're selling outside of Canada. So this is a really good grant program if you're selling abroad. Again, it's not 100% approval, but it's pretty high approval. So we can put you in touch with the grant writers who can help with that. And the other one is, then there's also this on the Canada Job Grant. So this just got released again. So this is $10,000 per payroll employee. So if you have people on payroll and you want to have them do training, so that's a good option for you. So we can tell you more about that one. And then after all of this, so Nazar already told you about the BDC loans. We talked about bank loans. Nazar also can help with some bank loans. So if you have a more established business, he can help to get bank funding. So probably you would look at like BDC as your primary source of funding, either interest-free option through the CDAP or working with Nazar to get a BDC loan. We've taken hundreds of thousands of dollars from BDC over the years. They've been a great partner for us in growing our business, and the interest rates are quite reasonable. Then you have your banks, right? So getting a good line of credit. We've had a couple $100,000 line of credits with our banks over the years. So that's a great source of funding. Aside from that, if you don't qualify for any of this stuff and you're still looking for funding, and sometimes you might be tapped out, so there are alternative lenders. So we're going to talk about those in a future call. So stay tuned. But there are a lot of other alternative lenders that we've worked with. So some of the alternative lenders that I've worked with through our businesses have been companies like OnDeck, Driven, Capital Links. So these companies will lend you, 50 to usually $200,000, but even up to $1 million. And the repayments are usually 6 to 24 months repayment terms. But their approval criteria is a lot more lenient than any of these other ones that we talked about. The interest rates are higher. They're definitely double-digit interest rates. But sometimes when you're growing your business, it's worth it. And if you're using that money to grow your business, expand your working capital and your capabilities, then it's definitely worth it. So we're going to be talking about alternative lenders in future calls, and definitely like a lot of things to look out for and watch out there. I mean, it is you have to be careful who you're dealing with, and you want to make sure that you're dealing with a reputable company, because all of these lenders are going to be putting like a lien on your business. So you want to make sure that you're working with somebody who's honest. And we can tell you which companies we've worked with and we've had good relations with.
And I'd like to add something to that, Munir. Please make sure that if you're going, with these alternative lenders, make sure that your business is incorporated. The last thing you want is to be a sole proprietor and take loans, because what happens is, God forbid, something goes wrong to your business. It's going to be, if you're a sole proprietor, creditors will be chasing your personal assets. So you definitely want to avoid that. Whereas your business is incorporated, you're actually much safer, because they'll just seize the business assets. So for example, if you have a company car, for example, but it's under the company name, so you're fine. They're not just gonna, seize the car. But if it's under your name as a person, then, as a sole proprietor, that's a risk. So please make sure that, alternative lenders should be. It's best to deal with them if you're incorporated, if your business is incorporated.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. Okay, so we're almost out of time for today. Last thing I want to mention, I want to tell everyone about a referral program that we have. This is primarily for the CDAP, but we'll be expanding this in the future to other opportunities. But if you know of any businesses that are potentially doing over $500,000 a year in revenue, then please introduce them to us. I can give you a link as well, your own individual link, and give you an email that you can send to them to tell them more about the CDAP program. And you can earn a commission if they end up signing up and working with our team to do their application. The referral fee is $1,000. If you are a service provider in this field, so if you're like a consultant, if you're doing any sort of digital marketing or digital consultancy development, and you have clients that are in this space that could potentially use the program, you can reach out to us and we can talk about how we can collaborate to use some of this funding towards having your clients do more business with you. So that's something, there's this grant, and then there's the $50,000 to $100,000 loan. So we can talk about how is it that your clients can use some of that funding to do business with you. So that becomes a win-win. So that's if you have a service or a product that could be used with one of these programs. So reach out to me if you're interested in the referral program. Now, best way to do that, we're going to put the links back on the screen here. I'm going to share my screen again. So if you go to, if you're interested in the referral program, I'm going to leave my email address here, so you can contact me at this email address on the screen if you're interested in the referral program. Okay. And then if you want to get more information on CDAP and you want to book a time with someone on my team, follow the first link here on the screen. If you want to get in touch with Nazar about some of the other business loans and grant opportunities, he put his webpage here on the screen. And lastly, if you're interested in the referral program, shoot me an email at the last email address on the screen. Lastly, a shout out as well. If you're interested, we're hiring salespeople and people to do business outreach. So we're growing the team quite a bit. So again, if that's something that interests you, either on a full-time or a part-time basis, even if you just want to help us do introductions, we can use your LinkedIn to help send introductions to people in your network. You're probably already connected to a lot of people, a lot of businesses that are doing over $500,000. So you can let us and our team help to automate your LinkedIn so that we can reach out to people, your contacts, and get them interested in the program, and you can earn your referral fee that way. All right, so thank you everyone for taking the time to join us today. I hope that was useful, and hoping to work with some of you in the near future, either through CDAP or one of the other grant programs, through any sort of software development you might need or digital marketing, or have you join us through the referral program or as part of our sales team in the future. Have a great week, everyone, and we'll see you again, same time, same place in 2 weeks. Take care.